Hello everyone, I'm so glad to be back making videos for Nerd Nest. I will give more details about my absence at the end, but for now I want to jump right in because I finally got the chance to see the ultimate cut of Batman vs. Superman, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you. Now I think that when you're talking about comparing two different cuts of a film that you've seen, the only two questions that really matter are what was better and what was worse. And because I am an incredibly positive person, we're going to start with the good. The ultimate cut provided some fantastic scenes that really fit the tone of the movie and helped to provide a little bit more clarity. I thought that Lex's plan was easier to follow, most of the side plots make more sense, and they feel more complete. We also got to see more of Henry Cavill as Clark Kent, live in action as a journalist, which in turn adds to his characterization, adds more depth to Gotham City as he's investigating, and helps fill out his character motivations a little better. As for the new characters that were added, they were wonderfully acted, wonderfully scripted, and they really added to the plot instead of being a drag on it, as I was kind of afraid might happen. Overall, this was a more ambitious version of the film that dealt with the themes in a more complete way. The movie is still complex and grand, which if you watched my last video on Batman vs. Superman, you'll know that I love, because I think that when you're dealing with some of the most iconic fictional characters in history, it's okay to treat it with some seriousness and some reverence. So, on the more negative side of things, this movie was also 3 hours long, and it only made it nominally better, and even then was probably only well received by people who liked the original cut. This version will not change hearts and minds, so don't get your hopes up. I loved Batman vs. Superman, which is why I saw it 5 times in theaters, and I loved the ultimate cut even more than the theatrical version. But I can see how the length might wear on people. And to give credit to the film and the editing, I thought that the ultimate cut actually resolved a lot of the editing problems that I had, which made it feel less dense. But it is practically impossible to make 3 hours fly by. So this is where my opinion might get slightly controversial. Generally speaking, unless you are a big fan of the universe, I think that director's cuts tend to be worse than the theatrical cut, because directors are artists, and art tends to be better when it's restricted. And to be clear, I'm not talking about censorship as much as I'm talking about defined structure or executive oversight. Like, there's a defined structure for what a sonnet is. There's a reason authors go to publishers to edit their books. There's a reason directors are answerable to producers. These restrictions make artists more creative and more clever. Given endless possibilities, an artist will almost surely use up all of the space that they're provided with. But given a structure to work within, the artist will squeeze as much concentrated art as possible into that space, thereby creating better, bolder, more concentrated art. Now, I know this is a particularly unpopular opinion, but just think about it and let me know what you think about my theory. That's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry I've been away for so long, but I transferred to a new college, moved into a new place, got sick, and then I didn't have a camera. But now I'm settled in, all my classes have kind of started up, and I finally got my hands on a camera. So hopefully from here on out, videos will be more regular. And as always, if there's anything you want me to talk about in the future, let me know in the comments below and I will do my best to keep up. Bye guys.